Welcome to our channel, where the veil between our world and the spectral realm grows thin. Tonight we delve into the echoing silence of forgotten tracks and abandoned stations, where the spectral cries of phantom whistles pierce the night. We bring you 3 ghostly trains, their steel hearts still beating with the terror of their final journeys. Turn off the lights, close your eyes, and listen closely. The mournful cries of those lost souls might be closer than you think. Picture this: the unforgiving landscape of the American West, 1880. The air, thick with the smell of dust and sweat, hangs heavy over the parched earth. A lone train, its iron wheels screaming against the unforgiving steel tracks, cuts through the heart of this desolate expanse. This, my friends, was the era of the Iron Horse, a time when the promise of fortune and a new life lured thousands westward. But for the passengers of this particular train, the journey would be anything but fortunate. The train, known as the Golden Arrow, was a beacon of hope, carrying dreamers and prospectors towards the promise of gold and glory. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. As the sun began its descent, casting long, eerie shadows across the desolate plains, a wall of silence descended upon the Golden Arrow. No frantic cries for help, no screeching of brakes, just an eerie, echoing silence that swallowed the train whole. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and the Golden Arrow was lost to time, a forgotten whisper in the vast emptiness of the West. Whispers of a ghost train, a spectral echo of the Golden Arrow, began to surface. They spoke of a phantom locomotive, its windows glowing with an eerie, otherworldly light, speeding across the very tracks where the Golden Arrow met its mysterious demise. Some dismissed it as folklore, the ramblings of weary travelers and superstitious townsfolk. But others, those who claimed to have seen the ghostly train with their own eyes, knew the truth. They told tales of spectral figures peering from the windows, their faces frozen in eternal screams of terror. The phantom train, they said, was a chilling reminder of the untamed West's unforgiving nature, a rolling tomb forever bound to the tracks. Now, one night, a lone cowboy, hardened by years of toil under the relentless desert sun, found himself face to face with the legend. He'd heard the whispers, scoffed at the tales, but nothing could prepare him for the sight that unfolded before his very eyes. There, emerging from the swirling dust and the heat haze, was the ghostly silhouette of a steam engine. The air grew heavy, thick with an oppressive dread that sent shivers down the cowboy's spine. As the spectral train drew closer, the chilling sound of metal grinding against metal pierced the eerie silence. Each screech of the phantom wheels a nail hammered into the coffin of the cowboy's courage. Our journey takes us now from the dusty plains of the Old West to the fog-choked cities of the Industrial Age. Here, amidst the towering factories and the labyrinthine streets, another ghostly train makes its presence known. They call it the Phantom Express, a spectral locomotive forever bound to a tragedy shrouded in mist and sorrow. The story begins, as many dark tales do, with a night shrouded in an impenetrable fog, the kind that clings to the soul and chills you to the bone. On this night, a train, its carriages packed with weary travelers returning from a festive holiday gathering, sped towards home. Unbeknownst to those aboard, a thick fog had settled over a crucial bridge along their route, a bridge that spanned a treacherous ravine. The engineer, blinded by the fog and deafened by the roar of the engine, failed to see the warning signals until it was too late. The train, its whistle screaming a final, desperate plea, plunged into the abyss, the sound of its destruction swallowed by the unforgiving chasm. The crash sent shockwaves through the community, leaving behind a trail of grief and unanswered questions. But the tragedy of that night was far from over. Soon, whispers began to circulate of a phantom train, an ethereal echo of the doomed express that haunted the tracks near the ill-fated bridge. Witnesses, their faces pale with terror, spoke of a spectral locomotive emerging from the swirling fog, its headlight cutting through the darkness like a malevolent eye. They described hearing the heart-wrenching cries of the passengers, their voices filled with the unimaginable terror of their final moments. Some dismissed these tales as hallucinations, the products of grief and overactive imaginations. But others, those who had seen the Phantom Express with their own eyes, knew the truth. They knew that the souls lost that fateful night were trapped, forever bound to the tracks, their spectral train forever retracing the path of its final tragic journey. One chilling tale tells of a young woman, heartbroken over the loss of her fiancé in the crash, who wandered onto the tracks, hoping for one last glimpse of her beloved. As the fog rolled in, thick and heavy, she heard the distant sound of a train whistle. Her heart leaped with a flicker of hope, but as the train drew closer, she realized it was no ordinary train. Our final journey takes us deep beneath the bustling streets of a modern metropolis, into the dark and echoing tunnels of the subway system. Here, in the bowels of the city, where the air is thick with the smell of ozone and the screech of metal against metal, another ghostly train is said to roam. They call it the haunted subway train, a spectral leviathan forever bound to the subterranean arteries of the city. The story begins not in the distant past, but in the unsettlingly recent history of the city's subway system. A tragic fire, fueled by faulty wiring and compounded by a delayed evacuation, engulfed a packed subway train during the evening rush hour. The inferno, trapped within the confines of the tunnel, turned the metal carriages into a raging crematorium, claiming the lives of dozens of commuters. The city mourned, the newspapers ran stories of heroism and heartbreak, and the subway system continued to operate, its rhythm unbroken by the tragedy. But beneath the surface, in the shadowy depths of the tunnels, something sinister lingered. It began with whispers among the subway workers, tales of flickering lights, unexplained drafts, and the chilling sound of screams echoing from the abandoned tunnels. Then came the sightings, fleeting glimpses of a subway train, its windows blackened and its exterior scorched, appearing on tracks long abandoned or scheduled for demolition. Passengers on nearby trains reported seeing spectral figures pressed against the windows of the phantom train, their faces contorted in expressions of agony and terror. Security cameras positioned throughout the subway system captured blurry images of the train, its form flickering in and out of existence as if struggling to maintain its grip on the physical realm. The transit authority, desperate to quell the growing panic and maintain order, dismissed the sightings as pranks, hallucinations, or faulty equipment. But the stories persisted, fueled by the chilling experiences of those who encountered the haunted subway train firsthand. One late-night cleaning crew working in the deserted bowels of a distant station found themselves face to face with the spectral train. They described the overwhelming stench of smoke and burnt flesh that accompanied its arrival, a sensory assault that transported them back to the night of the fire. The train, its doors groaning open, revealed rows of charred seats and the ghostly silhouettes of passengers, their forms flickering like dying embers. The terrified crew fled, their screams echoing through the empty station, their minds forever scarred by the encounter. Another chilling tale tells of a young musician lost in his own world of music, who boarded the last train home, oblivious to the rumors and warnings surrounding the haunted subway train. Thank you for joining us tonight on this journey into the heart of darkness. We've traveled from the desolate plains of the Old West to the depths of the city. Each tale a chilling reminder that the spectral realm is never too far away. If you enjoyed these tales of ghostly trains and the restless souls they carry, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the unknown. Until next time, sleep tight, and remember, sometimes the most terrifying tales are the ones whispered on the tracks, carried on the wind, and etched into the very fabric of our world.